Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a month-long journey of spiritual reset and refinement that's observed by over 1 billion people all around the globe. So imagine that for a second. What if you had one single month to just reset everything? Well, for over 1 billion Muslims, that month is here, and it's called Ramadan. So what's this journey all about? Let's get into it. Okay, here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with what Ramadan actually is, then we'll get into the whole essence of fasting. After that, we'll look at it as a month of worship, touch on its holiest nights, and finally, wrap up with the charity and celebration that brings it all to a close.
All right, first things first. What exactly is Ramadan? Let's start with the basics.
So Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, which is based on the moon. And what makes it so incredibly special is that this is the month when the Quran was first revealed. This event is really the core of its purpose, which is all about spiritual rejuvenation, a goal we see laid out perfectly in a key verse from the Quran itself. This verse, right here, gets straight to the heart of it. The whole goal isn't just about skipping meals. It's to achieve something called taqwa. And you can think of taqwa as more than just being religious. It's like a constant, gentle awareness of God, a kind of mindfulness that helps guide your actions, your words, and your thoughts. It's really about building a stronger connection that sticks with you long after the month is over. You know, the idea of Ramadan as a spiritual school is such a perfect analogy. It's kind of like a 1-month intensive course, and the main subjects? Discipline, empathy, and devotion. It's this chance to unlearn bad habits and really double down on the good ones. Okay, now let's talk about the most visible part of Ramadan, the thing most people know about, the fast, which in Arabic is called Sawm. But you see, the physical act of fasting, that's just one side of the coin. An empty stomach is meant to lead to a fuller heart. The real work is what happens on the inside, training your hands to give more, your eyes to see with kindness, and your tongue to speak with patience. That feeling of hunger, it's not a punishment. It's actually a powerful tool to build real empathy for people who feel that every single day. In this quote right here, it just perfectly illustrates how fasting is meant to be a shield. It's not just shielding your stomach from food, but your whole self from negativity. It's like a built-in pause button. When you're faced with an argument or an insult, that little reminder, I am fasting, becomes this powerful way to choose patience over anger and restraint over reaction.
But here's the thing, Ramadan isn't just about what you stop doing. It's also very much about what you start doing more of. Let's see how that rhythm builds. So during Ramadan, the days are quiet with fasting, but the nights totally come alive with devotion. Mosques fill up for these special nightly prayers called Taraweh. People spend a lot more time reading and thinking about the Quran, and acts of charity just go way up. It creates this really beautiful and unique rhythm that defines the entire month. Generosity is an absolute cornerstone of Ramadan, and this saying about the Prophet Muhammad just shows how much it's emphasized. I mean, the idea is that if he was already the most generous person, Ramadan took that generosity to a whole other level, like a blowing wind that gives freely and without limits. It's a month where giving becomes a central act of worship.
Okay, so the entire month is building and building towards this incredible spiritual peak, the final 10 nights. These are considered the most sacred nights of the entire year.
And hidden within these last 10 nights, Muslims are searching for one night in particular, Laylatul Qadr, which means the night of decree. This is believed to be the exact night the first verses of the Quran were sent down. And its value, well, it's described in the Quran in a way that is just astonishing. The Quran says that this one single night is better than 1,000 months. Yeah, 1,000 months. Let that sink in for a second. That's over 83 years. It's basically like getting the spiritual reward of an entire lifetime packed into one single night. You can see why these last few nights are the absolute spiritual high point of the year, a time for deep prayer, reflection, and asking for forgiveness. So as this incredible month-long journey comes to an end, it doesn't just stop with a celebration. It concludes with this final, unifying act of charity that really brings the whole community together. Before the big celebration, there's one last required act of charity, and it's called Zakat al-Fitr. It's basically an obligation on every single Muslim, man, woman, and child, and its purpose is twofold. First, to kind of purify your fast from any mistakes you might have made, and second, and this is so important, to make sure that even the poorest people in the community have enough food to celebrate without any worries.
And then comes the celebration, Eid al-Fitr, the festival of breaking the fast. After a whole month of discipline and devotion, it's this incredibly joyous day of community prayers, visiting family and friends, sharing huge feasts, and just celebrating the completion of this amazing spiritual marathon.
And that right there brings us to the ultimate question, and really the whole purpose of the month. See, the goal of Ramadan isn't just to make it to the end. It's designed to be a spiritual reset, a training ground. The patience, the empathy, the mindfulness you practice for 30 days, those are lessons you're meant to carry with you, to shape a better, more conscious self for the entire year ahead.